Peace and blessings, fam. Peace and blessings, fam. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Peace, everybody.
Peace, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Queen of Rap. Welcome to the Queen of Rap. We appreciate you all so much for tuning in with us. Whether you tuning in now or you're tuning in later, we thank you so much for tuning in. We pray that we're going to share some great information with you that you can share with many, many others. But we're going to start with our themes. All right? So check it out, and we'll be back with you. And then we're going to go ahead from there and get it started with this. We're going to get it started with this, with the conversation. Okay? For those tuning in, once again, thank you so much for tuning in with us. And welcome to the Queen of Rap. Welcome to the Queen of Rap. My beloved wife, Fiza Ali, who is the Queen of Rap, designing holistic healing jewelry with your healing, your mind healing in mind. Today's topic, dear brothers and sisters, is going to be about the universal life force, also known as Chi, Prana, Spirit, universal energy. Whatever way you want to call it, that's what we're going to be dealing with. But the main thing that we're going to want to deal with today is what happens when that Chi, Prana, that universal life energy is locked. What are some of the things that can occur with that? Do you even, have you heard of Chi? Have you heard of Prana before? That is what we're going to be dealing with today. So we just wanted to just take a few minutes to go into our mini commercial break, which will be right here with us. For those of you who don't subscribe to the Final Call newspaper, we definitely would love for you to do that. You can subscribe to the Final Call at finalcalldigital.com. Again, that's finalcalldigital.com. That news that you can use. Truth that will change your mind and your life. I know that because my mind, my life was changed by the Final Call newspaper. I am a proud distributor of the Final Call, but since we're not in the streets right now, we're asking for you to get your digital subscription. Again, you can do that at finalcalldigital.com. For those of you who, in the midst of all of this pandemic, we need divine guidance today. We need divine wisdom today. We need to understand what we need to be doing in this time. Well, brothers and sisters, we invite you to hear the life-giving teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad as taught by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. You can do that live online every week on Sunday at 10 a.m. at www.noi.org. At Sunday at 10 a.m. at www.noi.org. That is Wednesday at 7:30, where right now we're hearing that powerful series, The Time and What Must Be Done. And on Friday, we're delving into self-improvement, the basis for community development. So we invite you to come on in with us and study, because the most valuable thing that you can have in this time is divine guidance. And that's what we're offering right on www.noi.org. Well, if you can't wait for those days, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. That's all right. You can go to finalcall.com. Click on the link that says Final Call Radio, and you can actually hear the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, in different snippets of different lectures that he's done, and have your mind transformed throughout the day. Also be able to see the title so that if you want to hear more, you can actually go to store.finalcall.com and pick that lecture up for yourself, brothers and sisters. Nothing like divine guidance. Nothing like divine guidance in an hour like this. We also invite you to support us at www.etsy.com/shop/Nafeeza, Nafeezah. That's etsy.com/shop/Nafeeza Ali. We invite you to support us there. And we also invite you to support our podcast, which is available at www.anchorfm.com/Mind Spark Creations. That's anchor.com/Mind Spark Creations. All right. So we invite you to support the podcast. We invite you to support us at our Etsy store and all the wonderful things that we just mentioned. Thank you for taking time out for this commercial break.
All right.
All right, brothers and sisters, before we again get started with this powerful conversation we're about to have, we want to do it like right, okay? We want to set the tone for this conversation. So we're going to play a quick video for you so it can explain and overall what we're going to be talking about. And then we'll come back and my beautiful wife will jump in and talk about the power of chi and what can happen when it's blocked. All right, so hold on.
Hello and welcome. My name is Jeff Chand, and today we're going to talk about what is chi. There are several different ways to say chi, but they all pretty much mean the same thing. It's roughly translated as energy, life force, bioelectric energy, or vital force. It's an ancient concept originated in 4000 BC. It's rooted in Taoism and traditional Chinese medicine. It's considered pre-scientific, which means it predates Newtonian physics, which is science as we know it today. George Lucas based the concept of the Force in Star Wars on chi.
The Force? The Force is what gives the Jedi his power. It's an energy field created by all living things. It surrounds us, penetrates us, binds the galaxy together.
There are several different types of chi in the body, and all of them can be either balanced, excess, or deficient in nature. There are 5 major functions of chi. The first one is to protect the body. Chi will protect the body from external pathogens such as the heat, the cold, dampness, dryness, and also bacteria, viruses, and other types of pathogens. Chi also has a warming function. It warms and cools the body as needed. It also has a holding function, where it holds the organs in place, keeps blood in the blood vessels, and governs all the fluids. It also has a transformation function, where it converts food and air into chi and blood. It's also responsible for transportation, and it governs all the movement of chi and blood through the meridians and prevents stagnation and promotes growth. If you have good chi, you're going to feel energetic, you'll have good endurance, strong but relaxed muscles, a balanced immune system, fast healing, a hearty digestion, a clear mind and good concentration, and you'll sleep well. If your chi is deficient, you'll feel low energy, you'll have a weak or overactive immune system. You'll have allergies and sensitivities, depression, slow healing, poor digestion and appetite, weight gain, poor concentration, and poor memory. If you have excess qi, you'll feel irritable, stressed, you'll have tight muscles, headaches, poor sleep, pain that's worsened with pressure, tight jaw, and shallow breathing. Here are 4 tips for healthy qi. The first one is to move your body. If you are deficient, move only about 20 minutes a day. This can be walking, light exercise, dancing, swimming. And if you are excess in nature, you need higher intensity and more exercise. The second tip is to feed your body correctly depending on whether you are excess or deficient. We may go into this in a future video. The third tip is to practice Qigong, Tai Chi, yoga, and mindfulness meditation. All of these help to balance the Qi very, very quickly and easily. And the last tip, which is possibly the most important, is to do something that you really enjoy every single day for about 15 minutes. Thanks so much for watching.
All right. I think my dog wants to be in the middle of everything right now.
All right, fam. Thank you so much for just taking the time to listen to that video. We kind of wanted to lay the base of what Qi was and put it in an interactive way so that you can actually see and hear for yourself exactly what Qi is. It's something, of course, that we deal with every day. It's something that we deal with every day on a daily basis. And that is going to be the basis of our conversation today, talking about Qi, what can happen if it becomes stagnant. He already did discuss some of the signs of what that is, but we want to delve a little deeper into what Qi is. So without further ado, guess what? I'm going to bring on your host, my beautiful wife, your sister, Nafiza Ali, the queen of rap.
All right. Assalamu alaikum, friends and family. Welcome, everybody. Praying everyone is doing awesome today. We have had such a beautiful day thus far with the our 2 previous shows. If you don't know, then I'm going to let you know that today we call it Thinking Thursday. So on Thinking Thursdays, we have 3 shows that we do. Start the day off at 8:30 a.m. with Mind Spark Creations, where we have just some real family conversations, okay? We talk about a little bit of everything that's going on in the world and ways to cope with what's going on in the world, and always trying to come up with some solutions and some answers for us so that we can get through this hour. And then we go back at 10:30 with Love My Kidneys, which is all about health and wellness. And then, of course, you are here again with me at 3 o'clock. Now, if you showed up to all 3 shows, you're a trooper, and I love you, and I thank you. But you got to make sure you put in the comments 100.
Or inbox.
Or inbox me that I did see all 3 shows, and I'm putting 100. The first person that does that, I'm going to create a piece just for you. And it will be free of charge, and I will even pay for the shipping because I love you. And this piece is for you. And Allah wouldn't have put it on my mind or my heart if He didn't want you to have it. So if you have done that, seen all 3 shows today, even if you go back and binge watch, if you steal the first one to put that 100 in the comments, then you will receive that gift. Okay? So that is truly our gift to you today. Again, thank you all so much for coming. It has been a really full day, and I still have energy. Okay? I still have energy. I'm not tired. I did rest a minute between the shows, but I only rest so that I can make sure that I can be my best, you know. And so today we're going to talk about the energy. We have talked about it before on this show. Actually, last week we talked about chakras. And chakras are the energy points in the body, which we know when we're talking about chakras, we're usually dealing with the seven major energy points in the body. The body has so many more than that. Okay, so we're going to start learning about more of this energy, which is also called chi, qi, or prana, Prana. And the video went a little bit into it, but it's talking about the breath of life. We're talking about what Almighty God Allah gave to us when we first came into existence, right? Our mothers had it and we breathed through her. But when we came forth from the womb, we took our first breath of life, and that is chi, and it runs in our body. And depending on how much we have in our body can really determine how we live, how we function, how we think. You know, if you have cloudy thoughts or you're sluggish and you don't feel well, usually it's an issue with energy, right? So we know you can't see it. You can't see the air outside, but it exists, right? We can't see our breath, but we know we just breathed in and breathed out. And so it is with that energy. And me and my husband was talking a little earlier about electricity, right? And how the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad talked about electricity. And he said, nobody knows where it comes from. And so I was like, we need an engineer to figure out how they get it in my house. You know, how do I get to turn these lights on with electricity, which is energy, right? So it's really one and the same, but it is that God force. And we either have a lot of it, most of us don't have enough of it. And if you like me, I'm going to develop it, okay? I'm going to develop more of it. Of course, I have God's life energy, but I met a beautiful brother, and we're going to be trying some things with this energy, with this chi. And some of you out there are already aware of it. You're well versed. I think today is more of a day of discovery and how we can really hone in the energy force within our own bodies, how we can, you know, when we talk about Reiki, things like that, you know, we have one thought. We have really, to be honest, Western mindset on it because of the way that they received it. Even ancient Chinese, which they say started like 4,000 years ago, but we have known about this since day one.
That's right.
This is not new. You know, energy, chi, that's been on the planet since God created himself.
Go ahead.
Okay. So we know that it always has existed. And at one point or sometime in our development as people, as human beings, we knew how to use it. You know, we knew how to use the forces of nature. We knew how to use that God force within. But of course, over time, since we disconnected from the God, we got disconnected from that knowledge, disconnected from that information. And then, of course, coming here to the West, that wasn't on the agenda of those founding fathers of America. You know, that wasn't on their agenda to learn it or to use it. Okay, not until way down the line when things started going wrong for them, they started looking back and trying to learn from our ancestors as to how to fix the problem. So in today's society, you will see a lot of Caucasians who have embraced chi and prana and crystal energy and crystal healing. You know, you don't see a lot of us in that arena. Well, you're seeing more and more of it. I'm meeting a whole lot more people that are in understanding. But today it's going to be a lot more about discovery. We definitely want you all to join in, ask your questions, because your questions will stimulate us to do even more research and find out more about chi and energy within our body. Now, the one thing or one of the things that I know is when energy becomes stagnant in the body, when they talk about the chakras and how it moves in a clockwork motion in the body, right? And as long as everything is rolling, everything is good. But when one of them slow down or one of those energy ports stop or even start going backwards, then we start moving into an area of dis-ease.
Right.
Okay? The body's not receiving enough energy. People who are dealing with diabetes and there's no circulation in the legs. Well, what kind of circulation are we talking about? We can't be talking about blood because blood has to go from the heart to your feet all the way back up to your brain, back to your heart. So it's not blood circulation. It must be energy circulation that we're having an issue with. Not that there's none, but there's not enough. So now we have to learn how to increase the energy in our body. The crystals will
amplify,
but it will help to get the chi or the energy going in the right direction. It can't help to unlock, but increasing. That's what we have to do now is increase. Now, as many of you know, on our show, we talk about holistic healing.
That's right.
Meaning it's going to take more than one modality of healing, okay, in order to get this body and this mind right. If you did listen to this morning show, we talked about the power of prayer and faith in the healing process.
That's right.
That's key. That's vital. You know, we really can't heal if we don't have faith and if we don't pray, if we're not communicating with the God who is the author of our life, right? So our beautiful brother Daryl Muhammad out of Macon, Georgia, spoke with us regarding prayer, the power of prayer and faith and how it begins the healing process. You can't function. Anybody that ever tell you they got their miracle, you know, and they was healed overnight, those are people who are faith-based. They believe in God. And it may be some atheists that got healed like that, but I've never heard them come up and testify on that. So I can't speak on that. If you know some and they told you that they got healed by some mysterious unknown force and power and they didn't pray about it, then, you know, you can share that information. But I've never heard of one. I just haven't. The people that I speak with that talk about their healing, you know, was faith-based. They believed in the power greater than themselves, the creator of them. So we know that that is a important component of healing. And then you have to know your individual self and you have to appreciate your particular journey because everybody's journey is different. We spoke with a brother on Love My Kidneys, brother Atasi out of Riverdale, Georgia, which he kind of services that whole area. But he works with Dr. Peters, who's a scientist, right? And the Dr. Peters worked for NASA. And they came up in NASA with this quantum knowledge, right? So he took the information and applied it to herbs and applied it to red light therapy. And now they are all over the world or Atlanta.
They're all over Georgia.
You know, they're definitely all over Georgia and growing in actually healing people. I mean, he had some real testimonies on their website, and we'll drop that link in the comments so that, you know, if you want to go look at the testimonies, that's another modality, right? Some people are able to be healed with Reiki and crystal healing. You know, you might not be as messed up as some of us. You might just need a little tweaking, you know, But there are other people who are definitely far worse than me that, what I'm doing may not work for them. They may need something even more severe. They may need some acupuncture. There are different modalities of healing that are natural. And going back just a little bit on the history, the black man and woman is the first on the planet ever. Okay? Allah created us first. And if you want to debate that, it's a different show. Somebody else is doing it. On this show, I'm not debating that with you. That's just actual facts. Okay? So because we are the first on the planet, we are the originators of these modalities. When the Chinese learned it, the ones that are on the earth right now, because original Chinese are black people.
That's right.
It was passed down. Okay? And that knowledge and that information was passed down. So it's ours. That's my point. Not that we were the first on the planet. That's not actually the point. The point is it belongs to us.
Right.
Okay? And we're in an hour that Allah is bringing all this knowledge, all this information back to us so that we can use it. So that we can use it in our community where we are suffering the most. Another great show that Allah has blessed us to have is our show last week on Love My Kidneys, where we displayed Minister Ava's Sunday lecture from our mosque meeting, where she talked about the vaccine, not the vaccines, COVID-19 actually killing more diabetics. 60% of the deaths are of diabetics. And what she read in several articles, you can go back to that show from last week, Love My Kidneys, and see where we actually dropped the links to the articles. But what she was saying is COVID actually attaches itself to the sugar in the body. And it lives there and it festers and it grows. Okay? And how many of us know a diabetic? I'm sure most of us can raise our hand and say we know someone who has diabetes.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a cure to that. There's a cure to everything that we suffer from, no matter what it is, even the common cold. The most honorable Elijah Muhammad told us, once we learn how to eat one meal every 3 days, we'll never be sick.
That's right.
Now, that's a process. I'm not telling nobody jump out there and eat every 3 days. That is a process. You have to really work your body and, to get to that level where you can function like that. But what I'm saying is that the body can heal itself. We have to create the environment, right? And so the energy is such, it just kind of blew me away when I was talking to our brother about the chi and how you can work the energy within your body to heal itself. It takes time. It's not fast. But anybody who does qigong or practice martial arts are familiar with it. Know about the meridians.
Yeah.
In the body, which are basically pressure points.
Energy centers through your nerves.
Right. And of course, if you know some stuff, please feel free to correct me, because like I said, this is a learning session. And I'm learning and I'm discovering, right along with you. Yes, absolutely.
Real quick. So we can really give you a real clear picture of the power of chi. Now, when you read of the Jesus healing the blind, when you see those miraculous things that he did, the majority of the time he laid hands on them. And the disciples actually grew to be able to do the same thing. Okay? That is an example of how the chi, or the universal life force of the prana, can actually work inside of the body. Now, many of us, we have really warm hands. We have really warm hands, like myself. And so in my studies, what I found is when your hands are like that, and like for sometimes your hands are just warm and seem like for no reason. But it is a reason. It is because you have been blessed and granted the ability to heal. I'm going to say that again. It is calling you to explore the reality of your own healing power. Now, let me show you this. If you bang your elbow on something and the first thing that you do, you may scream, but the next thing is you put your hand on that spot.
Right.
Well, why are you putting your hand there? You're putting your hand there because the caress and the energy of yourself is actually helping to take away the pain from you.
Right.
This life force, this life energy, you've seen movies about it with the Shaolin priests where they can get hit with boards and nothing happen, where they can put actual swords to their neck and the sword actually bends. See, all of those things, now we thought, okay, yeah, those are movies. No, I can show you where it actually is something that can be done. Now, for all my Muslims in the house, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said this. When he was going to be called, they were looking for someone to stand in New York because there was a death plot on the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And he said he was the first one to raise his hand. And so the man said, no, you too little, and the bullet may just go right through you. But he said, do you know that with faith, you can actually make your body as hard as iron, and the bullets can actually bounce off the body. Now, I know you say, well, brother, wait a minute. That seemed like some Superman stuff to me.
Matrix.
No, but I'm going to show you something. If your child is in danger and they're going to be hit by a car, and we've seen these things in live footage, on live film, where a mother's child was about to be hit by a car, and because of the love, she was able to use her force and power to stop and even lift the car. This is the type of power, energy, chi, prana that we actually have access to. But the main thing is we don't think we have it because we won't even wrap our mind around that.
Right.
See? So think about it. And I'm going to pass it back over to her. If your Father God can levitate the planets, the stars, the quasars, yes, it's called gravity now, but initially it was the thought force of God that called that thing to stay in its place.
Wow.
Now they identified it as chi.
Right.
They identified it as prana, but it was the thought force of God that actually caused the planets to stay in their orbit. He had to think it first. And then, all praises due to Allah, he had to think it first. And then he set up the Mizan, as the Quran talks about, the balance, the law. So once the planets, once the stars, the quasars, and all those things were in the universe with each thing. Once he thought and projected the thought to bring it about, then he knew he had to keep those things in the universe.
Right.
And that was the thought power created gravity. See? So when you hearing that, people say, well, that's the law. Throw this up, it drops down. That's the law of gravity. This is falling into the law of gravity. But how many of us have asked the question, who created the law? It wasn't Newton.
No, it wasn't.
That's for sure.
It was here where
he might have found it, but it was here way before he got here.
Right.
So the Quran say, and Allah sets the balance in the universe.
Wow.
He sets the law of how a thing operates. So my point is, we have more power inside of us than we really can understand. I share this last thing and I'm passing it over. If you go back, I believe you can pull it up on YouTube. I'm not spooky, man. I just got to tell it the way it is. It's a lecture called The Triumphant Return of Farrakhan. Now, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan was coming from Libya, where they said they were going to arrest him on the spot.
Right.
I want you to hear me good now. Now, the FBI is there. The CIA is there. The police is there. Brother Sharif, student minister Sharif, told the story. And the minister walked by and nobody seen him. They didn't even know he was in the state. I believe it was for a week.
Right.
What stopped their eyes from seeing? Could it be that for that segment in time to them, that the minister had achieved in their mind a form of invisibility? I can't walk past her and she don't see me, especially if you're looking for me. Is that right? This is the type of power we have access to. But the reality that we can't even think about it because we've been made to believe it's all cartoon, it's all myth, it's all fantasy, it's all, that's Superman, that's this, that's that. What they're really identifying is the power of the original man and woman.
Right.
That's what they're really identifying. If you want to see, go to YouTube. Pull up this brother, Tarif, T-A-R-I-F, Ghazi, G-H-A-Z-I, and look at where he's talking about Chi, part 2. He starts in his classroom. The next thing, he goes around to the different places. They hitting this man with boards. They're hitting this man with bricks. They breaking bricks on the top of his head with a sledgehammer, and the brother walked away with no damage. Why? Because the power of Chi, the power of the God force within. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said we all carry an atmosphere. That's not just talking about the mental atmosphere. You carry an actual atmosphere with you, and if you know how to activate, Mother Tanetta talked about you can manipulate the atoms around you.
Wow, see.
This is Chi.
Right.
This is the power that we have access to. And lastly, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan in a lecture called This is the resurrection. He said, do you want to know what keeps you away from your godly powers? He said, it is your disobedience to God that will not allow you to access that realm of yourself.
Wow.
That's cheap,
Wow.
brothers and sisters. We're not taking on no irrelevant conversation. We're trying to introduce you to what we actually have access to.
Right.
You're powerful. We're powerful beyond belief.
Wow, that was so much in what he just said. I mean, it just hit my mind thinking on so many different levels of how far we have to go. True, but how far we've fallen, as a humanity in general. But of course, us as individuals, because we came from that kind of energy. Our ancestors were able to use that kind of energy. They were connected. And I know we have been conditioned and trained in self-hatred. We've been taught that, that we're nothing and we're little. And even in our worst condition, we still are able to exhibit Black excellence. But what if we go deeper? What if we go and get even closer to the Creator, to Allah, to God, and build up that life force within us? And, when I found out that it was even a possibility, I've done Qigong before when we lived in Belize, and I got a lot from it. I mean, I'm not one of them people that sweat a lot. It's probably why I accumulated toxins, but I sweated on my arms. I mean, it was, and we weren't even doing nothing extreme. True. We weren't, whoa, P93, and we weren't even doing that. It was these slow motions of up and down, and and I mean, we got such great. It was beautiful. We used to do it in the ocean.
Yes.
When we lived in Belize. It was such
That's another show.
It is, but it was such a beautiful experience. But even with me learning Tai Chi and getting those wonderful benefits, I don't know if it was explained to me at that time or I'm just at a level now that I'm understanding it better. But to understand that is God's power that is not only within me, but I can increase it. I can increase God's energy, breath, power, prana, chi, whatever this is that is flowing, through my body. I can increase it to help heal my body, and to know that the crystals and the stones, they all carry that energy, right? Because they've been in the earth. They've been absorbing Earth's energy all this time, and so since they have done that, and then when we get them, putting them in the sun, allowing the sun to charge them with the sun's, energy. And we know, wow, how powerful is that energy right there? Okay. So much so Arizona trying to go all solar, right, where they just surviving off of sun's energy, to power the homes and power communities. So that God force is so powerful and we have access to it.
That's right.
And all of us as I would say people, Black people, like I say, humanity, right? So everybody that strives for excellence, everybody that tries to be their best, we're pulling on that God force. Okay, regardless of what color you are, you're pulling on that force. But when you know that you are directly linked through blood to the God of the universe,
come on now,
and you come into this knowledge and you come into this understanding, yes, it's going to be degrees by degrees, but can you imagine how powerful our children, how powerful our grandchildren will be as we take on this knowledge and we apply it to our lives, improve ourselves from all the self-hatred and all the drama and trauma that we've been through, But now we're producing children who don't have as much of that on them as we did. And we're showing them about God's force and power within themselves and teaching them Black excellence and how to move forward. And then their children. See, this is how the stages of building the kingdom of God, right? It's one degree by another degree by another degree. God never just throw you in like that. You know, his world is here forever. It comes from forever and it goes to forever. We're here for a short period of time, but the short period of time that we're here, we have a responsibility to gain knowledge and then apply that knowledge to make ourselves better. I remember I was at a luncheon with some Black women here in Tucson. I think it was a Black Women in Tucson meeting, something like that. And, you know, it was like Black women just getting together, talking about business, talking about, you know, what they need and, you know, just having a conversation, right? So anyway, we were talking and I said, you know, we're supposed to leave the next generation in a better condition than we are. And this woman turned to me in amazement, like, I didn't know that's what I was supposed to be doing.
No, let me quote it.
He might remember it better than I did, right?
No, this is what you said.
Okay.
You said that you are supposed to change the world.
Okay, right. Yes, you're right. Right. And she did. She looked at me in amazement, like, well, I guess I'm not doing my job. I didn't know that I was supposed to be doing that. And, you know, it kind of shocked me, like, what do you mean? That's my mother taught me that. You know, I didn't have to come into the Nation of Islam to learn that. My mother taught me that when I was growing up, you know, that the next generation is supposed to be better, which means we have to teach them to be better, you know? So now that we are coming into this knowledge, and this may be your first time hearing about chi, prana, energy, anything like that. So I encourage you to do more research and to go and learn more about it. Be careful of the sources that you get it from. You know, kind of when at the beginning, take everything with a grain of salt until you gain further knowledge and you get actual facts. Okay? Always do that, because as you're learning anything, and especially on the internet, because now we all go to YouTube University. I hope y'all go to YouTube University. But because, you know, we're getting a lot of information, and like, I'm not well versed in it, but I do have enough knowledge, and, you know, Allah feeds me also to be able to share with you something that you can grow from. Okay. So I'm dropping seeds, and you can go and build on that and take it even further. But also, Allah blessed me with a teacher, right? So Allah willing, this Sunday, I will begin my training. Okay. And you all know, or most of you know, the issues that I deal with. So my training is going to be designed just for me. Okay. And so this brother that's teaching me is very well learned, has trained and been in this for, I think, 28 years, learning about chi. Okay. So I'm going to kind of gauge my results, and the more that I learn, the more I will share with you. I always want to make sure it works before I give it to you. Right. I know Qigong works. That I do, because I've experienced it and I benefited from it. When I left Belize, I had actually lost a lot of weight at that point. And it was just all naturally, not with anything extreme. I mean, we would walk to the market. Of course, I was eating food off the trees and the, oh my goodness, avocados.
The howler monkey used to bring.
No, they didn't bring that. But I mean, people would just leave bags of avocados on our doorknob, you know, like, here, I picked it off my tree, you know. So we did have an awesome diet there, but I wasn't trying, You know, it's like usually when you go on a diet or, you know, you're trying to lose weight, you put real effort into it. You're counting your calories and, you know, did I walk 3 miles today? Did I do my 10,000, you know, steps? And, you know, you just got so much energy going toward losing the weight. But my point is when I was doing the Qi Gong, it wasn't that kind of effort. You know, I just naturally was getting more energy and able to walk. So I am praying to Allah, and I believe because of my faith and because of what I've been praying for, that Allah is sending my healers to me in degrees. Right?
Just quickly.
Okay.
I dropped the links in the chat, and you know, because she mentioned about not necessarily being able to trust the knowledge you receive and take it with a grain of salt. Well, I dropped the links in the chat from the brother that we're going to be working with, Tariq Ghazi, and you can actually look at that. The brother, he actually studied in China, and he actually worked in the Qigong hospital. Okay,
Mm-hmm. Right.
And they had another place where they did surgery and things like that, as he shared with us. He said, but they rarely ever used them. He said, because this is a form that he does of medical Qigong.
Mm-hmm.
There's different styles and different ways, but this is medical Qigong. This is a Qigong that's designed to awaken those the God force, that Qi within you,
Right.
and cause it to bring about your healing.
Right.
Now, many may doubt that, but we know that many people have been healed
Right.
as a result of it. And if you don't believe it, you can actually Google Reiki in hospitals.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of hospitals are bringing in energy healing practitioners because they've actually found that the energy healing does work. There has been cases where they were on the operating table trying to remove cancers and things like that, and they actually were able to release the totality of the cancer along with the energy practitioner who was sitting in the corner doing what they were doing.
Right.
So it's a lot of research out there.
Right.
Now, I'm not telling you you're going to do that tomorrow, but what we are sharing with you is that there are many abilities that we have, and some of us have abilities that we don't even like to share because we don't even think that people would believe us in the first place. This is the generation that's going to tap into that kind of power.
Mm-hmm.
So I advise you to start listening and watching your children, because you don't know what type of power they can actually possess. So when they tell you they can do something, they can see something, they can, before you say you crazy,
Listen.
I think you need to listen first,
right,
and watch over time, because a lot of times we kill the gift of our children because of our doubt, because I've never done it, I've never heard it, I've never experienced it. You don't know who it is that you gave birth to.
That's God's
you know,
child.
that's right. You don't know who you gave birth to.
Right.
So that is something that you have to be very, very careful of. So,
you know, it made me think about the right now. I'm not a big TV person. We actually prefer movies, so I don't have to watch all the garbage. But I turned on Netflix and I watched a couple of movies where people had superpowers. Raising Dion, oh my God, I absolutely love Raising Dion because he had these superpowers, and his mother didn't stunt his growth. You know, she was a little shocked by it at first, but she eventually embraced it. And I mean, they got a lot of movies now with Netflix originals that are talking about superpowers. But I'm watching one series now with Jamie Foxx, and these people are taking this drug that gives them superpowers. Well, why to focus on superpowers? You know, the reason that they're focusing on superpowers is because they're seeing more and more people do things out of the ordinary, things that, you know, they didn't think human beings can do. But there are groups of people that are around here levitating. So, you know, it's a lot out there. I'm not telling you to go that far. You know, you go to where you feel comfortable. Right now, I want to heal. So that's my focus. It's healing and using God's power for good and not evil. Okay? That's what we need to do. God has given this to us, given us ways to heal, right? So that we can go and heal other people. So we can heal one another. What we're dealing with on all kind of levels, because we're dealing with depression, you know, which is causing illness in the body. He's given us all of these modalities using crystals, using the energy and the force within the body to heal. As we said earlier with Brother Daryl on that first show, prayer, faith, meditation, trusting God, not having no doubt that he's going to heal you, and then trusting the source that he sends, because God always uses people. Okay? He always uses people. Sometimes he'll, you know, that's true. God will come and just give you something, but usually the confirmation is through other people or signs or something. He confirms that he has this for you, you know, and you all feel free to comment, feel free to share, you know, your thoughts on this, and, you know, let us know, oh, Sister Nelly, I don't know, you sound off base, you know, or yeah, I agree, you know, that's something I've experienced myself. So, you know, we always want to hear your comments and your thoughts. I know we're still kind of new at this, and our friends and family, our group is growing. And we thank you all so much for tuning in and sharing with us and listening, you know, to what it is that we have to say. But we just feel like God has put so many good jewels in us. He's given us so much. We can't, even this COVID, you know, we can't just not share it, right? You know, that's like hiding your light in a bushel basket, you know, and we can't do that. I mean, me and my husband can talk all day and all night and just share, you know, with one another. But they say, we preaching to the choir, because we've been talking about this for a long time. So now, you know, we want to share with you. And as we learn, which is so beautiful, that as we learn, now you can learn and you can share and you can give that information to somebody else, and talk to somebody that in your family that told you they do Reiki and you poo-pooed them away. Now you can go and have a real conversation with them, because now you learned a little bit more about that energy, you know, and they can even take it deeper in what they know. Okay. Wow. So today's show really was just, let's talk about it, you know, because we know the negative energy that we receive sometimes from people who are very negative, and how that drains our energy and makes us feel. Or when we're feeling depression, you know, that's negative energy building up within our own selves. And so that's why you need an amethyst to, you know, kind of remove that negative energy from around you, right? So, you know, energy is very real. I know we can't see it, but it is very real. And I know in my years of doing the farmers markets and things like that, I've spoken with a lot of people that, you know, they kind of hesitant when I talk about, you know, the stones having energy. But if you think about it, everything, you know, has energy on it. If you touch, let me say, like a balloon, right? They tell you how you do this to your hair and then touch a balloon, and then you get static cleaning and all of that. That's energy. Right. That's electricity. Right. Right. You can't see it, but it's very real. Right. And that dwells within us. Okay. And I think when we can learn to recognize that we're not just a a spirit living in a flesh body, right?
Right.
We're God's energy. This belongs to the creator of the universe. And he wants to increase it in us. So let's go deeper. Let's find out how we can increase this energy to heal ourselves and help to heal others. If you're already a healthy human being and you're on top of your game, I love you and I appreciate you. But now we still have a responsibility to help those who are not, right? I'm not telling you become a Qigong master. I'm just saying, look at the possibilities of different ways that you can help in your community. Brother Ben X, and I'm just going to speak on this and I'll let you speak because our time is getting short. But Brother Ben X and Brother Jake Taylor, which are the creators of the ABS Tribe, digital real estate, showing us how to do what it is that we're doing now. They are helping so many Black men and women come out of this financial rut that we find ourselves in that leads to depression, leads to us not being able to get alternative medicine because we can't afford it.
Right.
They're helping us out of this rut. If you don't want to deal with the internet like that, you just want to be on Facebook and, come to my shows. But you want to learn more about finance and how to become your own bank. Who ever thought about how to become their own bank? That's healing. That's healing something that's wrong with our community, right? If you are like somebody, our brother Tyrone Muhammad in Chicago, who was in jail for a while and he came out and now he's helping brothers who come out of jail to help clean up the streets, right? To help protect the brothers and the sisters in the streets. He's really serious about what he's helping to heal. So whatever level you on, if you are really striving, to do right and rid our community of evil and wickedness like God is doing on our planet, pick up your cross and let's make this happen. This was just one of the avenues that I wanted to share because I'm going to start on Sunday. I need y'all to pray with me. I need y'all to encourage me because I need to do it every day, twice a day for the next 100 days.
Yes.
And this is from somebody who really don't do a lot of exercise. Just to be honest with you, I don't. I occasionally get my walk in, but I got issues that I deal with, so it's been difficult. But the brother is putting me on a regimen. Excuse me, hold that, honey. Sorry, y'all. It's been all day, and my hair likes to make my head covering slide, and we want to stay covered as the Muslim woman I am. But this is going to be a task, not a task. This is going to be a pleasure.
That's right.
This is going to be exciting. This is going to just be a thrill because I know and I trust that God sent me what I needed in my life at this particular moment. And I just want y'all to be right there with me on this journey. I want you to encourage me. Hey, send me a DM, Sister Natalie. You could do this. I know you got this. I just learned who you are, but I'm right here with you, sister. And let's help each other overcome all obstacles that are in our path, because all obstacles are stopping us from being one with God. And we don't want nothing to stop us from being one with Allah. Okay? Because he has an inheritance for us. He has it and he wants to give it to us, but we got to make our way toward him. So with that, it is 4:03. I'm going to let my husband do closing remarks. You all didn't ask any questions or have any of your wonderful insight, but inshallah, next time you'll be able to share with us. And we'll see you next week. Thinking Thursday. Thinking Thursday. Don't forget, I'll send you a reminder. Love you. Peace and blessings, family.
Yeah, fam, just so that we do know, that we don't claim to be professionals at this. We're just introducing concepts to you so that you can do your own research,
Right.
Okay? And as my wife was mentioning about the ABS Tribe, I actually dropped the link in there if you'd like to get involved with that. You want to learn how to build digital real estate. We're learning so much. You can actually go ahead and click that link inside of there, and you can be able to get access to that. This is another methodology that you can utilize instead of going to work 8 hours a day. They teach you how to turn your passion into profit. They teach you how to do drop shipping. They teach you how to become your own bank. There's so much to it. It really is. It's so much to what it is that these young brothers are pushing. I just share this. Brother Ben is 26, and Brother Jake Taylor Jacobs is 29.
Mm-hmm.
Brother Jake Taylor Jacobs has 7 businesses, and each one of those businesses are multi-million-dollar businesses. Each one.
Right.
And Brother Ben was featured last month in Yahoo Finance as entrepreneurs you should be looking at. And Brother Jake actually was on Forbes magazine this month.
Right.
So these brothers know what they're doing.
Right.
You know, so if you're looking for an out, you tired of the rigmarole, the 12-hour shifts, the 15-hour shift, that kind of thing, and you want to do things in another way, these brothers can show you that. We just wanted to lift that up. Once again, we're going to end off here. But if you haven't subscribed to the Final Call newspaper, we need truth in this hour. You can't necessarily get it, the physical copy right now, but you can get the digital. I did drop the link in there. If I didn't, I'm going to say it. And that is finalcalldigital.com, finalcalldigital.com. You can get your subscription there, really reasonable, $5 a month. You get 4 issues, and you can do 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, whatever you choose to do. In this hour, we need divine guidance, so we invite you to www.noi.org. That's on Sundays at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. On Wednesdays at 7:30, we're currently hearing the time of what must be done by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And on Friday, we delving into self-improvement, the basis of community and development. So those we invite you to. Those are free to you. You don't have to pay anything for it. You can come on in, listen, and transform and change your life the same way that we are transforming ours. Well, brothers and sisters, we thank you so much for tuning in. We pray that we said something and shared something of value for you. If you like what you heard, please share with somebody. If you'd like to support us, you can do so. If you want to do Cash App, that Cash App is the $, the Queen of Rap 19, $, the Queen of Rap 19. If you want to do that, if you want to support our store, you can go to www.etsy.com/shop/Nafeeza, Nafeezah Ali. Again, that's etsy.com/shop/Nafeeza Ali. You can pick up something there.
You dropped the link already?
Yeah, the link should be there. If it's not, that's why I said it.
Oh, it's running across the bottom.
Oh, too. Yeah, Etsy is there.
Yeah, it's running across the bottom, guys.
Also, we do have a podcast, so all of these become podcasts, and you can reach that podcast at www.anchor, like an anchor, anchorfm.com/MindSpark Creations. So that's anchorfm.com/MindSpark Creations. Please go and take a look at that. If you like to ride and listen to wisdom while you ride, then that will be a podcast for you. And as always, brothers and sisters, doesn't matter what show that we're doing. We are Mind Spark Creations, whether we are on Love My Kidneys, the Queen of Rap, whichever. We always want you to let the spark in your mind create
a new
reality. And we're going to be starting a new show this Saturday. We already have the page up. It's called Let Us Build an Intentional Black Community. And this Saturday at 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, we're actually going to be talking about, are we being socially engineered for destruction? Are we being socially engineered for destruction? So if you can join in, please do join in, okay?
Right.
We being socially engineered for destruction. It's going to be a powerful show, one that you're not going to want to miss. Brothers and sisters, we appreciate your time. We appreciate your patience. We pray we said something good. I just want to give a shout out to our podcast, which we have reached 100 listens. 100 listens on our podcast.
Thank you.
Again, that's
Thank you,
because
everybody.
of you. And we've only been doing this a couple of weeks now. 100 listens. Remember this. Celebrate the small wins. So then when the big wins come, you have been celebrating all along the way.
Right.
See, a lot of times we're looking for the big blessing and we jump over the small blessings. 100 listens on our podcast. We're growing on all of our social media, from Instagram to Facebook to YouTube. And we're doing that because our young brothers are teaching us methods of how to make that happen. So if you want to know more about the ABS tribe, you can either click that link or you can direct message us, and we can tell you more about it. They even have a free masterclass that you can go to so that you can actually see what it's all about. So if you want to know more about that, just direct message us, and we'll be glad to put you on to that information. We know people looking for things to do right now. Believe me when I tell you, this is a great thing to do, to let the spark in your mind create a new reality. You all be blessed. Remember this. If nobody told you that they love you, God loves you first and foremost, but we love you too. You all be blessed. Continue to bless one another and be good to yourself and be good to one another. All right, family. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you so much for tuning in, and have a blessed rest of your day. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Share, share, share.